Welcome to Team O'Neill. I'm Wyatt. If you're serious about driving, either for your own personal entertainment or actual performance or competition, the best and most important upgrade or modification you can do to your car is simply turning off or otherwise disabling all of your traction control, ABS, stability control, or any other systems that your car might be equipped with that are going to have an effect on the braking, acceleration, or cornering of your vehicle. Just like taking the training wheels off your bike when you're ready, it might be a little awkward at first, but in the long run, it's going to be a lot more fun, build much more solid driving skills, and probably make you a lot faster along the way. So the obvious disclaimer, this is a performance driving video. As a driving school, it's our responsibility to deal in facts and just put information out there. What you might choose to do with this information is completely up to you. That said, the best and easiest performance modification you can do to any car is to disable the traction control, ABS, stability control, and any of the other electronic nannies that vehicle might be equipped with. If you're interested in how to disable or deactivate these systems, we've got a whole video on that and you can find the link in the description of this video. But let's get right down to it. Number one, if you disable all of those safety systems, it's gonna be a lot more fun. Nobody has any hero driving stories about that one time they almost got into a skid and the stability control came on. And if they do, you probably don't wanna hear them. When you disable all the safety systems, sure, you're gonna have more actual performance, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But you can also just choose to slide around and have a little fun if you want to. Sliding around in snowstorms is fun. Drifting a little bit on the exit of corners is a good time. Most people who enjoy driving really enjoy sliding around a little bit and getting a little oversteer here and there when they get the hang of it. With stability control and traction control and ABS, a lot of that just isn't possible. The second reason that people choose to deactivate all the safety systems on cars is that it's much better training value and you become a much better driver in the end. Most of the really important driving skills that we all need to be learning and practicing exist beyond the parameters of where ABS or traction control or stability control will have already kicked in. The top 10 or 20% of your car's performance, when the tires are really loosely adhered to the road, is where all the magic happens. And with these safety systems active, you'll just never get there. And the thing is that the rules are different up there. The driving is much different than just normal daily driving around. One of the best driving quotes was from Mario Andretti, who said, "It's amazing how many drivers, even at the Formula One level, think that the brakes are for slowing the car down." What he's talking about here is that when you're driving near the limit, the brakes and throttle don't necessarily slow you down and accelerate you as much as they change the attitude and the angle of the car. When you drive around with all of these safety systems active, you're never getting into that realm where the real driving sort of happens. The same is true with your steering. If you've got stability control active, you could drive around your whole life without getting into an oversteer and learning how to countersteer and get yourself out of skids, which is fine. Our laws require all of these systems on modern production vehicles because most drivers just use their car for transportation. They don't have any interest in learning any of this stuff, and really it's easier to have technology instead of training. But if your goals are actually to go hot and do some competition or just get really good at driving for your own interest as a hobby, the sooner you deactivate these systems and start practicing and training and developing good muscle memory, the better off you're gonna be. If you haven't heard the term training scars, a training scar is what happens when you practice and practice and practice something that's not actually real or relevant. When you do have stability control and traction control and ABS, maybe you're in track mode where those systems are still active, you can build up a lot of confidence as a driver. But when things do start to actually go wrong, those training scars are going to kick in. You don't have the actual muscle memory that you need in those situations to recover that vehicle safely. So a lot of drivers choose to just pull the fuses, or maybe you can put your traction control or ABS on an actual switch so that you can shut it off when you like. If you train and practice without all of these systems, and then you get into a car where they do have systems active, you're gonna be fine. That's why you could put Stig or Walter Roll in one of these cars with stability control, where if you take someone who's only ever known stability control and you take that away from them, they're gonna have a really tough time. So when you do disable these safety systems, sure, it's gonna be more fun, sure, it's gonna be much better training value, but also you're gonna get more performance out of your car once you get good. Just like the training wheels on your bike, all of these systems are designed for stability and safety, not performance. In a normal passenger car with all of the safety systems active, you're losing that top 10 or 20% of your car's performance. Sure, there's some track modes and some more advanced cars, and we're not talking about really high-end motorsports traction control and things like that. Just any normal passenger vehicle you might encounter out on the road, with all of those systems on, you've only got maybe 80% of that vehicle's actual potential. If you try to accelerate too hard, the traction control comes on. If you brake too hard, the ABS activates. You come into a corner a little bit quick, the stability control kicks on. And this is all much worse on a slippery road. If you take a brand new car out here today with all the safety systems active, you're gonna have a really hard time. A lot of times you can't even make it up a hill because the traction control is activating or the ABS kicks on and the thing just won't stop. Stability control keeps you from going around corners quickly at all. If you could look in the owner's manual, pull a couple fuses, flick a couple buttons, do what you need to do, turn most of that stuff off, and that vehicle is going to be a lot more capable. You definitely do have to practice and train with a car like that so that you know you can do your part behind the wheel. But it's really not black magic. You don't have to be a race car driver or a rally champion to get this stuff down. It's not really that hard at all. Even absolute novice drivers with very little experience could come out here and with a little bit of training, you could learn to outperform any of these safety systems on your own just with good driving skills. You might look at a car like this that's got skid plates and a roll cage and wheels and tires and rally suspension and a differential and all this happy stuff. But the biggest difference, if you've got a street stock Fiesta ST from the dealer and you want to go driving, is disabling all of those electronic safety features. You'll end up with a car that's a lot more fun, you'll end up a much better driver, and you'll be a lot quicker out there, especially on slippery roads. So thanks for watching. In the comments section, we want to hear what you guys think about this. Was there a time where you were going out to do some driving and these safety systems kind of hindered your fun a little bit? What stories do you have? If you'd like to come out and do some driving yourself, check out teamoneil.com. We've got courses running all year long up here at our campus in New Hampshire. If you're into these kinds of videos, think about subscribing to the channel. Have fun, be safe, and we'll catch you next time.